Manga literally means comic. But if you've ever read one, you know it's so much more than just a Japanese comic. Sure, both manga and Western comics tell stories through images and dialogue, but manga has its own unique storytelling style, visual language, and cultural vibe that sets it apart. Originating in Japan, the manga world is still largely dominated by Japanese artists and publishers, and the European scene, it's still pretty young, underfunded, and only a handful of European mangaka have managed to break through and really make a name for themselves. But that might be about to change, because 4 publishers from 4 different countries have joined forces to launch a groundbreaking new project with one big goal in mind: to create a true European counterpart to Japan's legendary Shonen Jump. Introducing Manga Issho, Europe's very first manga magazine, translated into 4 languages and ready to make history. The 4 publishers behind this project, Ultraverse, Kana, Planeta Comic, and Star Comics, all share one vision: to support European manga creators and build a cross-border network of collaboration. The idea is to give artists from countries like Germany, Spain, or France a real chance to make their dream of publishing a manga come true. That's why this magazine focuses exclusively on up-and-coming mangaka from across Europe, and it's designed to help them grow. The magazine is set to be released every 3 months. Inside, you'll typically find short one-shots, first chapters of potential new series, or sneak peeks of already published titles, short chapters that give readers a taste of what the full manga is all about. One example, the cover story of the very first issue, Scarecrow. The magazine features a 40-page chapter from the series, and at the end, you find out there's actually a complete 5-volume manga already available. The one-shots are packed with great pacing, detailed artwork, and a lot of heart. And as you read, one thing becomes clear: both the publishers and the creators have poured a lot of love and effort into this project. For just €6.90, you're getting a high-quality, entertaining product that feels like it's worth much more. But Issho isn't just a fun read. It has the potential to become something much bigger. To understand that, though, we need to take a quick trip back in time. Let's rewind all the way to 8th to 12th century Japan. This is where we find the earliest roots of manga, in scrolls known as emaki, or picture rolls. These combined illustrations and text to tell stories visually. Fast forward to the Edo period, and you'll see colorful woodblock prints showcasing everything from kabuki actors to beautiful women and daily life scenes. But the real turning point came in the 19th century, when Japan opened up to the West. That brought new art styles into the country, including caricatures and Western-style comics. Soon, the first serialized comic strips appeared in newspapers and magazines during the 1920s and 30s. But it was after World War II that modern manga truly exploded. And the key figure behind this boom, Osamu Tezuka. He introduced cinematic storytelling, expressive characters with big eyes, and deep, emotional plots. Tezuka laid the foundation for the manga we know and love today. From the 1950s onward, manga magazines began to emerge, covering a huge range of genres and reaching audiences of all ages. Manga became an everyday part of Japanese life. About 30 years later, manga also started gaining popularity in the West, influencing international comic culture and growing into a global phenomenon. So, as history shows, manga didn't emerge from Japan alone. It's a fusion, a blend of traditional Japanese art, Western influences, and the creative energy of post-war Japan. Now it's evolved into a powerful, standalone medium, deeply rooted in Japanese culture, but reaching far beyond its borders. And now that we understand where manga came from, it's time to look at how a single manga develops over time. It all starts simple. Just a pen, a piece of paper, and an idea. The mangaka sketches out their vision as a storyboard, a rough draft that combines text and layout to show how the story will flow. This concept is then pitched to an editor at a publishing house. If the editor approves, the manga usually kicks off with a one-shot, a single, self-contained chapter. If that one-shot gains traction and readers love it, it can evolve into a full series. The story is then released chapter by chapter in weekly or monthly magazines. Like the iconic weekly Shonen Jump, once the series reaches around 8 to 12 chapters, the chapters are collected into a tankobon. That's a standalone manga volume you'd find in bookstores. Now here's where things get interesting. If the manga becomes a hit, or even sparks a full-blown hype wave, that success can lead to an anime adaptation. And the anime? it usually sends manga sales through the roof. But it doesn't stop there. Popular manga often expand into video games, light novels, or even live-action movies. And if the anime does well, merchandising is the next big step. From figures and keychains to apparel, posters, and more. The fan base becomes the driving force behind an entire ecosystem. A manga usually wraps up once the story reaches its natural conclusion, or sometimes, if popularity fades. This whole process is a core part of Japan's manga industry. It keeps readers engaged, builds fan loyalty, and creates tons of opportunities for creators and publishers to grow something truly massive out of a single idea. But what many outside of Japan don't realize is this: manga is way more than just entertainment. In Japan, manga is everywhere. It's part of daily life, culturally, socially, and even politically. You'll see people reading manga in trains, cafes, waiting rooms, and supermarkets. And we're not just talking kids and teens. People of all ages casually pick up manga like it's second nature. What's even more impressive, the sheer range of content. From shonen for boys to josei for young women, there's a manga for every age, every interest, every emotion. Romance, sports, horror, history, philosophy, cooking, economics. If it exists, there's a manga for it, and it doesn't stop there. In Japan, manga is a legit educational tool, used in schools and universities, in public health, in technical manuals, even to teach philosophy. It simplifies complex ideas through visual storytelling, making them easier to understand and remember. A manga on World War II or climate change can be just as educational as a textbook, sometimes even more impactful. But here's where it gets even deeper. Manga is not just a mirror, it's a voice. It tackles real issues. Pressure to succeed, loneliness, gender roles, social inequality. Some stories provoke, others comfort, and once in a while, they actually change how people think. At the same time, manga offers escapes, alternate worlds where real-world tensions fade away. Whether it's dystopias like Akira and Attack on Titan, or slice-of-life dramas, these stories give shape to collective fears, dreams, and desires. Artistically, manga has gained huge respect. Icons like Osamu Tezuka and Naoki Urasawa are now celebrated not just as pop culture legends, but as cultural pioneers. Museums like the Kyoto International Manga Museum preserve this legacy and show just how far the medium has come. And economically, manga is a powerhouse. Billions in revenue, international exports, and a massive market in animation, merch, licensing, even tourism benefits. Fans travel from around the world to visit real-life locations featured in their favorite stories. On the global stage, manga plays a major role in Japan's soft power. Alongside anime, it shapes the world's image of Japan as a creative, modern, and culturally rich nation. The government actively supports this through the Cool Japan initiative. So let's be clear, in Japan, manga isn't just a hobby. It's a teaching tool, an economic engine, a cultural mirror, a diplomatic tool, and most of all, proof that a single drawing can speak louder than 1,000 words. The Weekly Shonen Jump isn't just a magazine, it's a titan of Japanese pop culture. For over 5 decades, Shonen Jump has defined what we think of when we say manga. First published in 1968, it was originally aimed at boys aged 12 to 18, but today, it spans generations. From school kids to adults who grew up with it, Shonen Jump continues to capture millions of hearts. Every Monday, in print and online, readers get new chapters of their favorite series. Short, punchy, 15 to 20-page chapters that keep you hooked week after week. Cliffhangers, plot twists, addictive storytelling. But what makes Shonen Jump so iconic? It all starts with one name, Dragon Ball, and continues with One Piece, Naruto, Bleach, My Hero Academia, Demon Slayer. These aren't just hits, they're cultural milestones. They turn Jump into a global brand that stretches way beyond manga. Behind the success, a system most people don't know about, the reader feedback system. In Jump, it's not just the editors who decide what survives, it's the fans. Every week, readers rank their favorite series. High-ranking titles get top spots. Low performers cut within weeks. It's ruthless, but it keeps quality high and creators on their toes. Right from the first chapter, mangaka have to deliver compelling heroes, emotional stakes, and jaw-dropping moments. Most Shonen Jump series follow a winning formula: a young hero, a big dream, obstacles, friendships, and epic battles. And behind the scenes, editors act as coaches, collaborators, talent scouts. They guide new artists, help shape stories, and many legendary creators got their start here. Even digitally, Shonen Jump leads the way. With Shonen Jump Plus and global platforms like Manga Plus, readers outside Japan can follow along legally. It's a major step against piracy and for building a global fan community. Despite a global drop in print, Shonen Jump is still going strong. In the 90s, it sold over 6 million copies per week and remains one of the most influential manga platforms ever. For many fans, a Shonen Jump series was their first manga, their entry point into a lifelong passion. Shonen Jump isn't just part of manga history, it is manga history. But what about manga in Europe? Well, things look a little different here. Yes, the shelves are growing, conventions are booming, and digital platforms are on the rise, but compared to Japan, there's still a huge cultural gap. In Japan, manga is just part of life, like novels or TV shows. No one raises an eyebrow when adults read manga. There's no snobbery between high and pop culture. In Europe, it's taken much longer for manga to be recognized as an art form. Until the 1990s, comics here were often seen as childish or niche. Even beloved Franco-Belgian series like Tintin or Asterix were treated more as collector's items than mass media. Then came Dragon Ball, Sailor Moon, Pokemon, and manga finally broke through. But the growth was slow. Europe lacked what Japan had, a production ecosystem. Most European publishers still act as licensees, not creators. They translate and publish Japanese titles, often beautifully but rarely originally. Young European artists face steep hurdles, few platforms, little support, and making a living, often a distant dream. Local creators, often overlooked, regardless of quality, but that's starting to change. Look at France. Artists like Tony Valenti have made it all the way to Japan, even scoring anime adaptations. Original series like Save Me Pythie or Stray Dog prove that European stories can stand shoulder to shoulder with Japan, both in style and substance. Germany's also catching up. Publishers like Ultraverse, Tokyopop, and Carlsen are opening doors for the local talent. The path is tough, but the momentum is real. Europe isn't trying to replace Japan, but it is beginning to develop its own manga voice. And this is where Issho enters the picture, a bold new project aiming to be more than just another print magazine. Issho, from the Japanese Itsushio, meaning together, wants to bring European manga creators forward, with structure, with visibility, with identity. Launched in 2024, Issho is available both in print and online, in multiple languages including English, French, and German. It's the first professional European manga magazine, a milestone moment. It offers serialized chapters, editorial support, and recurring formats, just like Shonen Jump or Morning, but with a European heartbeat. The stories? Not just copies of Japanese tropes. Themes like migration, potential future scenarios, European mythology, and social justice make Issho stand out. These are authentic, local stories, told in manga form. Short-term, it brings visibility and could shape a sustainable ecosystem. Long-term, it might just lay the foundation for a whole new market, with original works, global licenses, even anime based on European manga. And honestly, the first 2 issues already impressed me. Great storytelling, high production value, huge variety, all for a fair price. Issho isn't the finish line, it's the starting point. A start that gives hope and makes you want more. And maybe, just maybe, the next big manga revolution won't start in Tokyo. It might just begin right here, in Europe.